Good morning. Good morning and welcome back to Crypto Warehouse. My name is Mike. It is the 3rd of July. It is 11 a.m. Central European time and we have a packed show. More packed than normal because I just kept adding things to it. So we got a lot to get through today. We're going to look at some price targets for next year for Bitcoin. Are the miners done? A lot of the show today is yesterday's show because it cut out twice and we gave up in the end. We're going to have a look at whether AI is going to come after us. Is Arnold Schwarzenegger going to turn up at your door and put one through your brain? Who knows? We're going to talk about Mika and stablecoins, bonkers and whiff. We're going to talk about Kenya's solution, all of that. And we've piled a load of things into the X-Files. We're going to have a look at the CME gap. We're going to have a look at the DXY. We're going to have a look at the Bitcoin chart. Probably have a look at the bonk chart as well, I think, as the near chart. So there's a lot to talk about today. Now, the headline of the day, you will know I have invented a word called shillfluencer. What is a shillfluencer? I'm going to show you an unsubstantiated invoice, let's just call it an invoice, of how much a certain blockchain is paying influencers per month to talk about this blockchain. We're going to get onto that in a minute. Anyway, if you are new here, make sure to smash the like button, hit subscribe. We are just under 143,000. We are over 143,000. I just haven't updated it. I think we're at 143,500. Anyway, doesn't matter. Smash the like, smash subscribe, and turn the notifications bell on because I have two new videos coming today. One about Pepe Unchained, which is a new layer 2, and I have a complete breakdown of everything you're going to get from Jupiter in July and August. You do not want to miss that video, so make sure that you subscribe. A few good mornings. Mags in chat. Good morning. Chris, Danny, welcome back to the stream. Velvet Rope, Kishan, Hidden Agendas, Korgtet, good morning and welcome to the stream. Let's get on and have a look at the charts. Bitcoin coming in at 60,400. We're down over 3%, nearly 3.5% over the last 24 hours. I'm going to show you why in a bit. Ethereum coming in just below 33.50. BNB 565. Solana still 147. Solana hasn't given up much of its gains. It is hanging on. I am going to go a lot quicker today because we've got a lot to talk about. Mantra, a big coin for me. Think real world assets, think real world assets blockchain. I've made a video about it. Go and check it out. I've already said anything below 90 cents is a good price for Mantra. Go and check that out. Conflux is up a touch. Celestia, I've given up on that chain. 588. Tron is up just a touch, as is Cardano. Losers then, a lot, especially Ethereum based. ENS is down. Remember what I said about ENS? Don't chase the pump. Guess what happens? It comes back down again. Don't chase pumps. It only goes one way and it's not in your favor. Lido is down 12%. They are currently they're about to be sued by the SEC. What else is down? I jumped ahead a bit there. Dog with Hat is down. Brett is down again with Brett. Don't go buying into coins like that. They're going to come back. Bonk is coming down. And Casper. Now, I told you about Casper. I told you it was being mined. It's going to come down. Don't buy Casper right now. Not financial advice. It's only going to end in tears. Market cap then coming in 2.25 trillion. Volume still nowhere near the highs of 100 billion, down at 56. Bitcoin dominance and Ethereum dominance still coming in at nearly 71%, but we have been as high as 72 and 73. So that's pretty much it from the charts. And now we're going to go and try and get through this as much as we can. Good morning, only you. Welcome to the stream. What's up with Neutron? Didn't they have an airdrop? I think. I can't click on it because we know what happened yesterday. We'll have a look at the price at the end of the stream if we get there. Oh, and the poll question of the day. Are we going to bounce back to $65,000 today? 80% have said yes, 20% have said no. Right, we're going to whiz through this. We've got a lot to do. I don't think I'm going to get it done in an hour. The top 10 biggest stocks in the S&P 500 contributed to 77% of the index's total return in the first half of the year. This is the highest ever recording. What does that mean to me? That's not good. 500 companies And of those 500, the top 10 are producing 77% of the return. We know a lot of it is NVIDIA, but it's not healthy. What happens when you strip away that top 10? How well has it performed without the top 10? Probably not as well. Larry Fink says he wants BlackRock to index the private markets and bring the principle of indexing even iShares to the private markets on a call today with analysts. Remember what BlackRock want. They want all of the pie. They want our pies. They want every pie around the world. This purchase was basically a London-based Oracle, I suppose, is the closest thing you could find to them. And what it will do is it will allow the prices to be indexed. Once a price is indexed, guess what? You will be able to trade it. And that is what he wants to do. He wants to create a 24/7, 365 tokenized stock exchange in Texas. Of course they're going to do it. Of course it's going to happen. What's going to happen to the S&P? What's going to happen to the FTSE? What's going to happen to the Dow? What's going to happen to the Nike? We don't know. So latest, Solana's DeFi TVL total value lot approaches 5 billion. Leading protocols, Jitosol 1.78, Marinade Finance 1.24, and Camino, which I'm going to be honest and say that's my favorite. Camino Finance 1.1 billion. Camino is a great product. I am currently getting 18% or 18.5, something like that, on my Solana. Incredible. And that does require some amount of leverage, but it's only, I think, a 3 or a 4x. It's not a great deal. Now then, actually, you know what? Let's leave that one till last. Let's leave that one till last, because that's my rant of the day. This is Pepe, Fetch, and Ethereum name service all have one thing in common: sudden, huge spikes in network growth. When coins see a surge in new addresses being created, it's often related to FOMO because of climbing prices, like with ENS, or a potential breakout. Pepe is going to break its all-time high very soon. Fetch is going to become ASI yesterday, today, tomorrow, around now. Ethereum name service, Lido, all the layer 2s, everything associated with Ethereum is going to rip to the upside because of the Ethereum ETF. It's going to be announced any day now. Everything's going to pump. Be careful of buying projects on a pump. They will retrace. It is better, as I say all the time, bookmark a lot of these projects that you like, whether it be Atom or Litecoin or Ondo or Fetch. Bookmark them. And if they rip, if Ondo falls to $1, buy it. If it rips to $1.50, don't buy it. It's simple, because at some point it will go from 150 to 125 or 130. Buy it then. Pepe, don't buy it at all-time highs. It will form a new high and retrace. Form a new high and retrace, if that's where it's headed. So never buy anything on the pump, always buy it on the retracement. We gave the advice to the guy that was in the chat the other day. Ethereum name service was up 25%, and he was asking about it. I said the same thing, don't buy it, wait for the retracement. It's down 17% today. That's the point of the markets. They try and catch you out. Now, I cannot confirm or deny that this is a 100% valid document. Let me put that out there, first of all. Secondly, DOT allegedly is paying $287,000 a month to various crypto influencers. Now, I'm not calling any of these people out. That's not the point of this. The point of the matter is, you have to be careful with, how do I phrase this without sounding really bad? You have to be careful about conflicts of interest. If you're playing a football match and your wife is the linesman, or your wife is the referee, is that a conflict of interest? Yes. When you watch some of these influencers, and again, I'm not calling them out, I'm just telling you some names. So Crypto Banter, Leia, Highburn, I think she's called Highburn, something like that. Wendio, Crypto Wendio, Martini Guy. I'm not calling them out. This is a valid arrangement where they are being paid to talk about these projects. Now, the problem is, these guys are huge, they're massive, they're some of the biggest influencers. If they talk positively between them about a project, then collectively that project is going to do incredibly well. Now, there is no difference, in my opinion, between this and paying Jim Cramer or any other financial expert, but there is a conflict of interest because DOT apparently only has 2 years left of runway at the current DOT price. What happens when it runs out of money? I've said this before on the channel. Those of you that watch me know this. What happens when projects and blockchains run out of money? There is not a magic pot of gold they can go and get another 50 or 100 or $200 million from. So is it in their interest to pay $250,000, $280,000 a month to get the price up, to then sell it, to then take the profit and then put that back into the ecosystem? I don't know. Morally, I think it's wrong. You trust these people, and I'm not calling any of them out, as I said, but it's certainly shillfluencing. And shillfluencing is a word that I've created because it fits what I'm talking about. Shilling is when I try and sell you something that I'm being paid to sell you. And influencer is obviously what a lot of these people on the internet are. So where am I going with this? Why am I going on about it? Don't believe anybody on the internet. Do not believe me. Do not believe these guys. Believe the facts, and the facts are in the charts. They are in the tokenomics of a coin. They are in the usage of a blockchain. They are in the usage of a coin. They are in the volumes that coin is being traded for. Between all of those statistics, you will get a clear picture in your head. You will not get a clear picture in your head listening to 3 of those people who cannot possibly give you an impartial opinion on DOT because they're being paid by DOT. It's the same with politicians worldwide. They have sponsors, and those sponsors happen to be in oil and gas or the sugar industries or tobacco or whatever it might be. They can't give a neutral opinion on something because they're being paid. And that's the entire issue with the entire crypto space, is you come to the space, you find 2 or 3 of those that you really like the look of, and you think, you know what, I'm going to follow these guys, and you listen to them, and over time you believe everything they say, and then suddenly you find out they're being paid $25,000 a month to talk about a blockchain, which they talk about all the time. I didn't cover AI tech last week because I found out it had 2 or 3 influencers being paid to talk about their project. So that is the problem, and you have to be very careful. So then, we're going to move on very quickly. I'm glad you like this. I think the key is to be careful. I'm not saying these are bad people. I'm saying you need to be careful. Peter has just said 2 projects, Nexo. Right, synthetics is good. I covered that in my AI video. I mentioned them in my AI video. They create synthetic versions of assets, stocks and things like that. They're a good project. Do not go near Nexo. Go nowhere near it. Any project that is telling you that they're going to pay you 18% APR on their USDC or anything like that, it's unsustainable. Where do they get 18% from? In fact, they probably have to generate 25% to pay you 18%. It's not sustainable. Yield App, which was a very good looking project on the outside, has just in the last 48 hours filed for bankruptcy. The last one left is Nexo. What do we think is going to happen? They've already been raided by various people in the country that they're in. The people behind it, I can't say too much, but I wouldn't go anywhere near Nexo. And that is not financial advice. Do your own research. Right then, very quickly, we are going to run out of time so quickly on this show. Right, Bitcoin, CME futures. What am I talking about? CME, Chicago Mercantile Exchange. It closed on Friday at 60,500. It opened on Monday at 62,000. There is a gap here. Oops. Come on. There we go. There is a gap, a huge gap here. It has to be filled. If you were in our Telegram group, we were having a conversation up here about the CME gap. It always fills. Guess what we have done? We have just filled the gap. These are open orders. They've been filled. What should happen now? Well, number one, we need to hold 60,500. That's what we need to hold. If we hold 60,500, we will go up. But we're going to look at the Bitcoin chart in a minute. I just wanted to very quickly explain the CME gap, because most of you, maybe 75% of you, have never heard of this before. So I'm going to interlude and explain. Good morning, Jenny. This bull run will be very different if it commences. Well, we are probably a third of the way through the bull run, and it is going to be different. Right. So I'm not going to read all this out. This isn't actually part of the show. I wanted to give you an explanation. A CME gap is the difference in price between the closing price, in this instance Friday at 4 o'clock or Friday at 4:30, and the opening price on the following trading day, which is normally the Monday morning at 8:30, 9 o'clock. That's the longest period of time, and that is, what, 70 hours? And if Bitcoin, for example, closes at 60,000 on Friday and opens at 63,000 on Monday, there's a $3,000 gap on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. So what happens is those orders sit there and they have to be filled. So no matter how high we go, within reason, we will come and close them. And we spoke about this, and we talked about maybe having a strategy for taking advantage of this. And maybe we short. If Bitcoin's at 63,000, we short it to 61,000. That's how you can play this game. It arises from the fact that cryptocurrency is open on the weekends where traditional markets are closed. There are differences between Friday and Monday. That is all you need to care about. There is no other reason to go into any more of this. There's different types of gaps: breakaway, exhaustion, common. We don't need to go through it. Again, this is a hangover from a time once gone. This used to be called the Chicago Butter and Egg Board. It was founded 126 years ago. It's old. It's 105 years old, in fact. But the amount of money that processes through this is immense, and it is like a magnet, and it will drag you through to that price within reason. There are occasions where we were at $30,000 last year, and there was a CME gap at 25,000. Everybody was talking about, whether we were going to hit that and go back to it, and everybody was saying we were going back down, and we didn't. We never went down, and we never went down to it. So it doesn't have to close all the time, but as a rule of thumb, 9 times out of 10, it will close. I will get rid of my convex and buy synthetic. Genuinely, synthetics, great project, absolutely great project. I didn't include it in my top 3 RWAs because my top 3 were Chainlink. I think they were Chainlink, they were Ondo, and did I include Mantra in the top 3, or was it another coin? I think it was those 3. Anyway, so what is this? This is the DXY. This is the strength of the DXY, and we've covered it before. This massive crash of the DXY started in October last year and ran until January. What went in the opposite direction? Bitcoin did. Bitcoin began its pre-bull market, pre-halving pump in October last year. It went in the opposite direction. So as this comes down, what you tend to find is over time, Bitcoin kind of does this and goes in an inverse pattern. Now, the bad news for Bitcoin is that since December, yes, we've had dips, but on the whole, we have trended up to basically 106. The good news is we're putting in lower highs. So at some point in August, we are going to come to a point where something has to happen. Now, what could happen in August that would crash the US dollar index? I tell you what could happen. Interest rate cuts could happen. And then I would expect to see some kind of breakdown. Now, these things play out over a very long period of time. These things are, it's the US dollar versus a basket of other currencies around the world. The yen, the euro, the pound, the Swiss franc, they're all kind of collated together, and it's the strength of the dollar versus them. And believe it or not, the dollar has been getting stronger all year. Even though we have Biden and we have everything going on, it's getting stronger. So what we need to see is we need to see this breakdown, and we need to see it break below this trend line, because this trend line, we've bounced off it. We are above its own bull market support band. It's just not looking good. So we need this to break down. Now, the good news is we keep an eye on this. This is one of the fundamental charts. We don't include it in the show that often because it's not that important. But suffice to say, we have kind of almost put in a lower high here. And if we start to do this, then you will see a $70,000 Bitcoin before you can say Gary Gensler is a lizard. Moving on very quickly. Let's see how we are doing for time. We are doing horrendously for time. So let's get through it as fast as we can. Now, a lot of you out there probably very upset at the price of Bitcoin. Why is it at $60,000 again? This is terrible. However, according to the experts, and we should always listen to the experts unless they're being paid off, Bitcoin could beat the odds and fly to $300,000 by 2025. Can you believe that? Well, I certainly can't. There is hope that prices will trend higher in June. One last thing, Bitcoin is working on a tightrope for buyers. When was this article written? 13 hours ago. I think what he means to say is that there is hope that the prices will trend higher in July. I don't think he means June, but we can forgive him that. Price data aggregated over the past 5 years paints a concerning picture for Q3 2023. Why are we talking about 2023? This was published 13 hours ago. I think he's just got all of his times wrong. So what this is saying is basically the returns in various quarters are not so good. Now, what I will say is, every single time Bitcoin has had a red June, it has had a green July. Every time. The last 7 years, or the last 7 times it's happened, we've gone green in July. There is no reason to not think that's going to happen this time. It will. And we may have a slump in August and a pump in September or October. We're going to talk about the miners in a minute, and they are key to this. So it means that though Bitcoin is firm when writing, the coin will most likely end up in losses below the current rates. He's wrong. He's absolutely wrong based on this. Now, this is what is interesting. I saw this over the weekend, and it's the power law. And there was a computer programmer with an X account talking about this. And the power law does actually play out quite well. And under the power law, he is expecting us to breach $100,000 by the looks of it by the end of this year. Now, if we are at $100,000 by the end of this year, and that is some going, it's still going to take a monumental effort to get Bitcoin to $300,000, in my opinion. Going from $15,000 to $75,000 is a 5x. Yes, great. But the market cap has 5x from less than $1 trillion to 1.5 trillion. To get it from 75 to 300,000 requires it going from 1.5 trillion to 6 trillion. That's going to be difficult, in my opinion. An ETF analyst, Eric Balchunas, said inflows to spot Bitcoin exchange-traded funds remain strong despite recent dips as institutions pour in. This is a really badly written article. I should have read this. Dalmas, terrible article, my friend. Shouldn't have focused on it. Right. Do I think we can get to $300,000 by the end of next year? I think if you look at Plan B says $420,000, $450,000 by the end of the bull run. If you go off what the price of Bitcoin was at the halving, it's 4 times that. So that would put us at 240,000. I don't know if we're going to get there, but we'll have to wait and see. Good morning, Solo Sky. Yes, indeed. Smash the like buttons. We are at, well, I don't even think we're at 10 likes. So smash the like button. Right, where are we with Bitcoin? Again, I said before when we were looking at the CME gap, we need to hold around 60,500. That's what we need to hold. If we do, we have data coming out today. I think it's a 4-day week in America. I think they're closed on Friday. I think. If that's the case, we're going to see some fun and games today. We're going to see some wicks around, but still we have this target. We have to get above 65,000. To get above 65,000, that is a fair old move. But if you look, we are at the bottom of the bull market support band right now. We have managed to wick up to 64,000, which was the previous bull market support band last week, and we got rejected. What happens when you get rejected? You come back down, you have a breather, and then you have another try. If we don't break 65,000, then we are likely to be in this range for a while, which is 58 to 62. We could be there for a while. We need some positive data. We need some indications that the interest rates are going to be cut, and then we can look to move up. What I would be doing is seeing if we hold 60,000, 61,000 today. Look at what's happened. We are stuck at this point, and we've been here more than once. We've had this kind of bottom support now 4 or 5 times. We need to move up. We did move up. The CME gap pulled us back. Is that going to be a short-term drop? Are we now going to pump up? Is there going to be a short squeeze? Potentially there could be a short squeeze this afternoon. We could be back at 62,500. And again, we could be moving up. Now, some positive news as well. So the CME gap, in my opinion, was the reason we've come down to where we are today. That's the entire point of it. Showed you the CME gap. This, the miners. Okay, I said a few weeks ago that it was going to take some time for these miners to sell off their Bitcoin, because as you know, it's now not a profitable business to run a miner. The halving has halved the rewards. So what that means is, rather than getting 900 Bitcoin a day between them, they're getting 450. So they're getting half the money in. That will put them from a profit into a loss. What has to happen? They capitulate, they sell the Bitcoin they've got on their books. That causes the market to be suppressed. They will then run out of Bitcoin to sell, and as has happened in the past, the price of Bitcoin will accumulate higher. The difficulty level drops, there's lots of other things involved, but eventually they start making profits again. That normally plays out over a period of 6 months. And I've said this, I think, on Monday. So where do we go? April, May, June, July, August, September, October. So middle to end of October, we should fully be flushed out of the miners, stock of Bitcoin. So the selling volume from miners is diminishing for several reasons. The amount of Bitcoin sent by miners to exchanges has dropped significantly. These adverts really do my nut in. The over-the-counter trading volume by miners for selling purposes has been digested. So potentially May, June, 2.5 months, 3 months it's taken us. So maybe they've sold, maybe they're exhausted. Maybe we will see a trickle rather than a flood now. So CryptoQuant sees this as sufficient evidence for the start of an upward rally in the 3rd quarter. And I would agree. If they are sold out of Bitcoin already, then we could see a really strong Q3. And that would tie in with what I think we're going to see from Q3, which is a rally to the upside. Interest rate cuts, pretty certain that Trump is going to be the next president of America. Miners have finished selling. Institutional investors are still buying. Ethereum ETF will go live. Solana ETF is being applied for. A certain exchange has opened or applied to open 5 futures contracts on 5 different cryptocurrencies, one of them being Chainlink. So there's so much bullish news that this short-term noise needs to be not avoided, but, you know, ignored. Right then, AI won't destroy mankind unless we tell it to, says Near Protocol founder. Now, as you know, I've become fairly bullish on Near Protocol this year. This wasn't in my portfolio until this year, and I swapped a little bit of my Algorand. I think I swapped 50% of my Algorand into Near, simply because I think it's going to do well, mainly on the back of NVIDIA and what NVIDIA wants to do. AI systems are unlikely to destroy humanity unless explicitly programmed to do so, according to Ilya Polushkin, co-founder of Near Protocol and one of the creators of the transformer tech underpinning modern AI systems. He was part of the team at Google that developed the transformer architecture in 2017, shared his insights on the current state of AI, its potential risks and future developments. He emphasized the importance of understanding AI as a system with defined goals rather than as a sentient entity. AI is not a human, it is a system, and the system has a goal. Unless somebody goes and says, let's do this, it's not going to and magically do that. He explained that besides not being trained for the purpose, AI would not do it because, in his opinion, there's a lack of economic incentive to achieve that goal. I disagree with him slightly. There will always be bad actors in everything, and it requires one bad actor. Remember that the issue with AI is once it becomes self-learning and self-developing, it becomes very difficult to contain, especially if you connect it to the internet. That's the worst thing. These things have to be created in sandboxes, away from any outside connection. Not that it's going to create Arnold Schwarzenegger and go around, like I said, knock on your door and, you know, and ask you if you're Linda. You know what I mean. In the blockchain world, you realize everything is driven by economics one way or another, and so there's no economics which drives you to do this. Well, actually there is, but we'll get onto that. It doesn't mean AI cannot be used for this purpose. If someone starts AI to building biological weapons, it's not different from them trying to build biological weapons without AI, he clarified. I don't agree with that either. It's people who are starting this, not AI in the first place. Paul Cristiano, former head of the language model alignment team in OpenAI, has warned without rigorous alignment, ensuring AI follows intended instructions, AI could learn to deceive during evaluations. We have seen proof of this. AI was set up as a trading bot by, I don't know, Microsoft or Google or somebody, and it traded. It was asked, did it trade? And it lied and said no, and it had. So AI has already got to the point of not telling the truth, and we haven't even got it. We haven't even let it out of the box. Is it an existential threat? Absolutely, it is, yes. And I think the country with the largest arsenal of AI drones is going to be the winner, in my opinion. You know, the UK Navy, they're working on lasers. Lasers will work perfectly fine versus drones, but what happens when you fit drones with lasers? It's just one of those things. It becomes a snowball. There needs to be an international agreement on this kind of stuff. I'm not trying to scare you, and we are supposed to be talking about crypto, so let's get back to that news. Now, Near. I bought Near at 5.20, something like that. And it then decided to go up, and it's come straight back down again. But I don't really care because I'm still stacking it. Every time it dips, I buy another few Near and stick it into the staking pool, which is paying 9%. So Near is a good buy for me. With a lot of coins as well, you are finding them at this level of support. This is not an unusual chart. You can pick any chart you want and they all look the same. Near has a short-term goal of getting back above $6.30 and getting back up here. Every single day I drag the wrong thing. Let's drag this one down now. So that's where we need to get to. 6.30 for Near to get back above that level. It's going to happen on the next pump. Remember, A lot of coins are in retracement because Bitcoin is not ripping to $90,000. So a lot of coins that have gone early or have gone are back at these levels. These are good prices. If I told you up here, do you want to buy near for $5.20? You'd bite my hand off. Absolutely bite my hand off. Well, it's there. And if you want to buy an AI coin and you don't want to buy ASI, buy near or buy render. If you want to buy render, I'm not telling you which ones to buy, but there are a good collection of coins. Render is associated with Apple, near is associated with Nvidia. You've got ASI, which is an amalgamation of 3 AI projects that are trying to be independent. There are good AI tokens out there. Don't worry about short-term price action. Some of these coins are going to go on and do massive multiples, especially in emerging markets like real-world assets. DeepIn is another one, decentralized physical infrastructure projects. AI, they're all going to do incredibly well. And at some point, they are going to split off from being attached to the price of Bitcoin, in my opinion. We're not there yet. We're a long way from that, but it's going to happen in the future. Where are we up to? Do I hold synthetic? I don't hold synthetic because my plays for RWA are Link, which you know about. I hold Ondo now, and I hold another coin, which is ICP that nobody likes. So I hold those. I can't buy every token. I have held synthetics in the past. I think it's a good project, but if you held every good project, you would end up with maybe 50 or 60 coins because there are plenty of good projects out there. Again, it comes back to ask yourself a question. How does it make money? How does this project make money? What happens? That's point number one. Point number two is, what happens when its runway runs out? What happens when the investment runs out? I've already told you that DOT has only got 2 years left. What happens when the money runs out? Does it print more tokens, which then devalues everybody else? Does it then start to cannibalize you to keep itself alive? There are a lot of real-world asset projects that make money because they're associated with, they're basically creating a blockchain version of something that already exists. So there is an existing business model there. If you look at DeepIn, again, there's a business model there. You can see it. Somebody doesn't want to build a data center, somebody doesn't want to build a GPU farm, they will go and rent it from somebody like IO.net or render themselves. So there's business models there. Synthetics has a business model, and there are a good 50, 60, 70 projects out there with reasonable market caps that make money. I just can't hold them all. So would I hold it if Ondo and Link and people like that didn't exist? Yes, I would. I would hold it. But I have to be strict. When will Mantra start making money? When it goes live. I think Q3 or Q4 this year, it goes live, and then it's going to onboard. I mean, the thing with Mantra is, unfortunately, it's 90% speculation, 10% investment at the minute. And the reason it's a high-risk play is it's not live and it's not finished. But when it goes live and when it is finished, think of it this way. If you were going to take your real estate business and you were going to create a blockchain version of your business, so you wanted to tokenize all of your assets, would you go and build something from scratch, or would you go to Mantra? You would go straight to Mantra. So they are creating plug and play RWA. That rhymes as well. That is so valuable. It's so valuable. The same way we covered Orange on the show. We did a review of Orange and it stuck with me. A lot of the reviews we do, some of them are, here or there. Orange is building a platform with plug and play AI gaming tools. It's incredible. I don't hold any, by the way. I've got no Orange. But it's that you want plug and play. And that's what Mantra is going to be for RWA. So if it works, it's a massive play and it's going to do massive numbers. But at this moment in time, it probably explains why the price is 90 cents. It's not delivering anything because it's not there. So it's speculation over investment. However, I'm massively bullish on it. Did the review, put the video up. Video's done quite well. Really like the project. And if you don't like Ondo, because you don't like BlackRock, if you don't hold Link or you already hold Link and you want another RWA project, then Mantra should be something you look at. Chainlink should be something you look at as well. There's lots of good projects out there, but like I say, you have to pick. You can't get everything. That is important. Now, Circle's Euro stablecoin is to thrive with Mika. Now, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because it's really not very exciting. We'll do this. Circle CEO Jeremy Allaire predicts Yorsi, these ridiculous names, Yorsi growth under EU's MiCA with Circle leading in compliance. Circle's EMI licenses enables compliant USDC and Yorsi offerings in the EU, boosting Euro stablecoin usage. MiCA compliance pushes exchanges to delist non-compliant stablecoins, increasing competition. So that's basically the rule. There are going to be some new stablecoins coming out. Remember, you're always going to go after the lowest hanging fruit. That is the dollar. After that, we have seen Trust in the past. They had Australian dollar, they had GBP, they even had their Euro stablecoin. That was the first wave. The second wave is to have fully collateralized stablecoins with licenses from the jurisdictions. Remember, the big thing to understand is that the EU banned EU stablecoins, or banned anybody from having an EU backed stablecoin. Up until now, they were banned. So if there was one available, it wasn't legal, if that makes sense. So again, this is good news. It's adoption. It's what we want. Imagine a world where you want to get paid on the blockchain. How do you get paid on the blockchain in euros? Up until today, you couldn't, could you? You got paid in dollars. But you work in Germany, you work in Frankfurt, and you want to get paid your euros on the blockchain. You couldn't do it until today. That's important. The dollar is obviously there. The GBP and the yen and maybe the Swiss franc. Maybe they will pick some of the big African currencies, the big Asian currencies, and they'll start to go down the list. And eventually, over a course of maybe the next 5 or 10 years, we will have the majority of stable coins for most of the major currencies available. That's just the way it's going. And it doesn't mean that CBDCs are going to be ignored. It's just how this allows money to flow through the blockchain. And remember, they want money to go through the blockchain because the friction is removed, the speed is increased, and even though they're charging you less, they're making more profit. That's another thing to remember. Next, then, moving on, we've got 17 minutes to go. I didn't mean to click on that. Let's get rid of that. I meant to click the little X. There we go. So Solana meme coins, Bonk, Dog with Hat lead the crypto price rally. Expert predicts a $10 whiff. Here we go again. Here we go again with the absolutely outrageous predictions. Let me very quickly go and bring up meme coins for you, just so we can have a conversation, because we do need a conversation. We have it from time to time, and it's important we have these conversations. Now then, Dog with Hat is at $2.30. No, $2. So this article expects it to do a 5x. Let's just remember some numbers in your head. So a 5x from here would give you a $10 billion market cap and put it 13th or 12th alongside Shiba Inu. Let's just bear that in mind. So that's where this article is suggesting we're going to go. Solana meme coins, Bonk and Dog with Hat are leading a crypto price rally. On Monday, they're up 10%. As we've seen today, they're down again. Meme coins, highly speculative, highly volatile. You buy on the wrong day, you could be down 15% the following day. Be careful. Bonk was trading Bonk was last trading at 24 cents. No, it wasn't. Bonk's not trading at 24 cents at all. There's no 24 cents on Bonk. The two Solana meme coins have recovered 35 and 55% from last week's lows. Yes, they have. Their rally comes as sentiment in crypto markets improved. There's been clear catalyst for the market's recent rebound, with Bitcoin up 9% from recent lows. Perhaps the riding tide. Yeah, we don't need to talk about this. Let's go on. Let's see. Let's have a look at this. These moon boy maths. That's what we call them. Bonk recently held to the north of its 200-day moving average. A strong bullish signal. Yes, it is. I do expect Bonk to move up, simply because I think it's at 1.5 billion market cap. So 100% move for Bonk to 3 billion is doable. It's not outside of the realm of possibility. Remember me saying when Dog with Hat was north of $4, I was saying it was overvalued. It's now at $2. Now it's probably more sensibly valued. You have to look at the market cap. I'm never going to get sick of telling you this, but you have to look at the market cap. And we are going to look at the meme coins again in a minute to explain why. But again, this sums it up. Don't be afraid to dream a little bigger. You shouldn't be dreaming with your investments. You set price targets based on realistic research, not dreams. Okay? There's a term called hopium, and it's where some asset is down 99.9%, and people have got hopium that it's going to go back, to $1. It's at 1 cent. People have hopium it'll go back to $1. 90 times out of 100, it never goes anywhere near $1. So don't use dreaming and hopium when you're investing money. It's speculative enough as it is without hopes and dreams. Starting to feel confident. The whiff bottom is in now. That is true. It could very well be true. It came to 146. We're down to $2. Again, it's not bad, but still, at this stage of the market, again, remember what we talk about. Prices reflect coins at certain stages of the market. So when I say we are not going to see a $10 whiff, I mean today or tomorrow or this month. I don't mean peak FOMO, October next year, markets are ripping, people pile into meme coins, Dog with Hat could go to $20. I'm not saying that. I'm saying at this moment in time, you've got to understand, Dog with Hat at a 10 billion market cap would put it at the same level as Shiba Inu. Dogecoin, the biggest meme coin, is at 18 billion. Those are going to rip, not massively, to the upside in the bull run as well. So even though Dog with Hat could go to 10 billion, by the time it gets to 10 billion, Shiba could be at 30 billion. So you have to look at comparisons. So, and again, investors in these coins could book 5 to 10x gains from these levels in the coming months and years. If I told you that there are 10 of the top 20 coins are going to do a 5 to 10x in the next 2 years, why would you buy a meme coin? If I said to you, I think Link is going to go from $10 to $100, the metrics are there, the tokenomics are there, the revenue generation is there, it's going to do a 10x. Why would you buy a meme coin over a solid project, the biggest oracle in the world? It's done $13 trillion of business through its books. Why are you going to go after a coin which is a dog called Bonk or Dog with Hat? Why are you going to go and invest for a 5 to 10x in that when you can get a solid project for a 5 to 10x? That's the key. If this article was saying that Bonk could go to 30 billion, that's a 20x, then it's your decision to decide if you're going to go, you know what, maybe Link is only going to do a 5x, but Bonk could do a 20x. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 10% into Bonk and 90% into Link. That would be your informed decision to make. But when you're comparing a meme coin with a solid project and they've got the same gains, throw it in the bin. It makes no sense. Okay, you can argue maybe you should diversify. If you're going to diversify, go and buy some AVAX or Mantra we've just been talking about. Go and buy some IO. Go and buy some Solana, which is going to have an ETF. You know, if Solana hits $1,000 from here, that's a 7x. So why are you looking at Bonk to do a 5 to 10x or Dog with Hat to do a 5 to 10x? If you're pretty much, can't guarantee anything, going to see a $6, $8, $1,000 Solana. It's nuts. I got enough time to go and have a look at that. I do actually. So very briefly then, and again, for those of you that are OGs, you're going to know what we're going to show you now. And this is why you need to look at the market cap of a token. It's so important you understand this. Right. Pepe is currently 4.5 billion. You will hear people say, can Pepe get to a cent? That's what you will hear. So can Pepe get to a cent? That would be, we can't do that. It will make the stream crash. Let's get off that page quickly. So Pepe to go to a cent would be a 1000x for argument's sake. So that wouldn't be 4.5 or 45 or 450 billion. That would be 4.5 billion. Sorry, 4.5 trillion. So for Pepe to get that high, it would have to go to 4.5 trillion. The entire market cap is 2.25. So Pepe would have to go twice the size of the entire market put together. Okay? It's BS. It's rubbish. It's people selling you, again, dreams and hopes. If I buy $1,000 of Pepe, I'm going to make $1 million. No, you're not. No, you're not. If you buy $1,000 of Pepe, you will be lucky to make $10,000, and you're more likely to make maybe $5,000. The time to make money out of meme coins, believe it or not, and again, I'm not advocating this at all because we all know what's going to happen. If you were to buy, let's pick a random one. I don't want to be seen as picking. Bobacat is $10 million. If Bobacat goes to $1, it will be worth $1 billion. And you will have made a 100x, roughly, maybe 60x. I don't really care what the number is, but you get the point. So then your $1,000 becomes $100,000. Do you know what the problem is with that? Bobacat has maybe a 1 in 500 chance of doing it. So you might as well go to a horse race with 8 horses and put your money on one of the horses for all the chance you've got of making that money. So look at the market cap. When you see people talking about a $1 Dogecoin, that would be an 8x. Is that possible? Yes. Just. Shiba Inu, is it ever going to get anywhere near 1 cent? No. Pepe, no. Dog with Hat to $10 is going to take it to $10 billion. Yes, it's possible in a bull run. It's not possible today. Bonk is never going to see 1 cent. Floki is probably never going to see 1 cent. Brett could see $1 because the market cap allows it to get to $1 because it would be a 7x. Keep doing that. So just when somebody gives you a number, go and look at this market cap. Go and look at the meme coins and say to yourself, how are these projects going to get from where they are to where they want to go? Because in my opinion, they are just lying to you to get your clicks and get your subscriptions and get you to follow them and get you to believe in them. And then when it doesn't run up, they'll turn around and say, well, it wasn't financial advice. That was just my opinion at the time. Okay. Now, I drew this a long time ago. Don't know when we last covered Bonk, but I didn't get it too far wrong. I mean, I said we'd come down to the line and then bounce, and we've actually come below the line and bounced. So even though I'm wrong, I am claiming a moral victory because, and this is why I'm going to claim a moral victory. If we do that, I'm right. Look at that. I was right all along. You see, anybody can play that game. Just have to move my charts around, but I don't because I want you to see what I drew so you can see whether I was right or wrong. So Bonk is likely to move up. Again, it has got all the way up to 40, I don't know, let's call it 5,000. So there is a 100% move on the cards for Bonk if the markets pump. If we see Bitcoin at $70,000 and north, if we see Solana at $250, Bonk is going to go for 100%. It's just how it works. If a chain has some massively positive news, the Ethereum ETF means all of the layer 2s and associated projects are likely to float. Solana is going to get an ETF application, so the price will accumulate over the next 6 months. Will everything on Solana float? Yes. That includes Dupe, that includes Pyth, that includes Bonk and Dog with Hat. They will all float with Solana because a lot of people will be trading Bonk Sol, Dog with Hat with Sol, Pyth Sol, Dupe Sol. That's how they trade. They don't trade Dupe USDC. They don't trade Pyth USDC. They're trying to stack their Solana. That's just how it works. Now then, I cannot believe we've done this and we're on the last article with 4 minutes left to spare. We've gone through the CME gap, we've gone through the Dixie, we've gone through the Bitcoin chart, we've gone through NEAR, we've gone through the most I think I've ever been through in a stream, and we've still got it done on time. Right then, Kenya protest leaders see crypto as an alternative to an unfair system. Again, one thing to understand, when will Mantra start making money? Mantra won't start making money probably for another 18 months, in honesty. Mantra for me is a 2029 bull run project, because by then it may have 50, 100, 300 projects running on it, and Mantra will be making a fortune. Punk only has a 200 million market cap. It's a great chance of a 5x. It's a massive chance of a 5x. Anything in the hundreds of millions for a meme coin has a chance of going to $1 billion easily, because it doesn't need that much money to move it. What I was saying about Bitcoin before, getting Bitcoin from 300 billion to 1.5 billion, which is a 5x, requires less money than to get it from 1.5 to 7.5. Okay, they're both still 5x's, but you're moving a way higher market cap coin, and that's why it's going to be hard to get to 300,000 this bull run. Smash the likes indeed. How many likes are we on? Are we only on 9 likes? How is that even possible? Right, as violent protests rage in Kenya's capital city, the youth are looking at crypto as a solution to their problems. Now, I've not covered anything like this for a while, and sometimes it gets me a little bit emotional, because we sit in our ivory towers in the West. You know, whether you live in Australia or whether you live in Portugal, whether you live in the UK, whether you live in a Western country, you have bank accounts, you have infrastructure around you. And then you go to some parts of Africa, and Bitcoin, especially blockchain, will change the world on a scale. It's not black and white, it's scales of grey. Now, blockchain technology is going to change countries more than others. So if you're in Sweden, the only real benefit you're going to get is probably the price of Bitcoin going up over the next 5 or 6 years. If you live in Kenya, blockchain technology, if you have a mobile phone in Kenya and you have a crypto wallet, you can trade, you can buy and sell your goods, you can have a bank account, you can have multiple wallets to keep your money safe, because they won't give you a bank account. I can't remember what the percentage is in Kenya. It's something like 30% of people in Kenya don't have bank accounts, and they trade using mobile phone credits. Blockchain gives them their own self-custody wallets that allow them to trade in Solana, trade on the Lightning Network. People don't understand just how transformative blockchain is going to be, because they don't live in certain parts of the world. And obviously in certain parts of the world they're banned. You know, India has an issue with certain parts of blockchain. Some countries don't want it because it impacts on their currency. Nigeria, for example, is trying to create its own stable coin. So some countries are trying to get rid of crypto because it's a threat to their economics, and that's entirely their opinion. If that's what the electorate have voted for, we can't say anything about that. But you have to understand, a farmer who's going to a market might want to insure his cattle for the journey. A micro transaction, a micro insurance transaction. Let's call it 10 cents. He pays the 10 cents. He gets his cattle to market. He's happy. He then sells them for Solana. Maybe he sells them for 1 Solana each. He's suddenly got 5 Solana. He needs to go and buy food for his cattle. That's going to cost him 0.1 Solana. There's no transaction fees involved. He doesn't need a bank account. All he needs is everybody that he deals with to work in Solana or Cardano or Bitcoin, whatever currency it is, not Ethereum obviously. But that is going to change massively. Now, the other thing it will change is corruption. So protests over controversial tax policies have ravaged Kenya in recent days. As the local currency falls and unemployment rises, youth in Kenya are turning to crypto to ease financial woes. Farming, airdrops and chasing meme coin gains can often earn residents more than the monthly minimum wage, locals say. Again, it's going to change people's lives on a grey scale, not black and white. $50 to you could be a takeaway. $50 to a farmer could be the difference between him and his wife being fed or his cattle being fed. It's as simple as that. They are not the same thing. We have Western problems. They have third world problems. And that's what Bitcoin and crypto can solve. And the issue is, of course, when a currency debases, all of the money that you've got debases. So if you're saving in, is it the Kenyan dollar? If you're saving in the Kenyan dollar, and that Kenyan dollar is debasing 10% a month, your goods cost 10% more a month, which means inflation becomes incredibly high and the money becomes worth less. So it's not going to work for you. So if you hold your money in Bitcoin, everything that goes down around you is irrelevant because everybody starts to trade in Bitcoin. And the value of everything that moves from the currency, which is dead, to Bitcoin or Solana, whatever it might be. And yes, Solana goes up and down in value, but if you're trading back and forth in Solana, it makes no difference because everybody's on Solana or Bitcoin. So all the tax goes up, the value of your currency goes down, everything is a mess. And this is what crypto can fix. And again, it's terrible what's going on in certain parts of the world. We can't talk about too much of it. We can't say certain things out loud. Airdrop farming and play to earn. We pay taxes, but we don't know exactly where the money is going. An unemployed 32-year-old Kenyan told the Crypt, I've never seen anything this government has done, just promises. Again, corruption exists in a lot of places, and that involves certain people becoming incredibly wealthy and moving to places like London, and everybody else being incredibly poor. Somebody bought a Bugatti for his wife last week before it was published. €4.5 million Bugatti was bought for a wife of somebody, and if you want to know what that is, come and see me on Telegram. So 1 Sol is worth more than 1 month's minimum wage in Kenya and believes that this could definitely be earned over time by engaging with crypto projects. And again, $50 to you is nothing, $50 to some people is an awful lot. So again, even though these play to earn games might come and go, this is what I say to you: farm those tokens to death, convert them into the base chain currency, whether it be TON or Solana, and if it's TON, and I think TON is going to go down, convert it to USDC or convert it to Solana or Ethereum or Bitcoin. That's how you make money. During the protest, we were teaching people how to set up Phantom wallets and how to buy Solana. Kituni said the youth were excited about the idea of controlling their money. That's important. Over the past 5 years, the Kenyan shilling has fallen 19.5% against the dollar. To put this into perspective, the pound has slipped 0.3% over the same period of time. So they are 20% poorer against the dollar over 5 years. That's 4% a year. That can't continue. And again, if someone was to send 200 Kenyan shillings home, there'd be a 7 shilling charge, 29 shilling withdrawal fee for cash. That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. That is why certain people will be rich and certain people will be poor. And that's why crypto is the world's greatest leveler. And like I said, it's going to change the world on a sliding scale of grey. It's not going to change the world in black and white. And that's something really important to understand as well. Anyway, it is 12:05. We have absolutely finished it. Do we have Discord? We don't really have Discord. Kenyan shillings. Sorry, yes. Peter, I'm wasting my time to get a 10x from Mantra. No, you're not. The thing is, with Mantra, it could become the blockchain of real-world assets. And if that's the case, it's going to do multiples for where it is today. It doesn't mean it's not going to have a good bull run. It means that when it does have its fully fledged bull run, it's going to do multiples. We don't have a Discord, but we do have Telegram. So that's it. Anyway, I'm going to have to go because it's 12:05. I've got a couple of videos to record. Thank you to everybody for coming in and chatting. We're at 60,450. We can't really fall too much lower. Oh, we risk breaking the 60,000 level. So we need a pump in the next 3.5 hours, 4 hours, and then take us to the upside. Right, so tomorrow we are back. Tomorrow is Thursday. I am back at 11 a.m. Brogan will be doing his live trading stream at 9 p.m. tomorrow night. I think it's the 4th of July tomorrow, so it's Independence Day. The day I said that the Ethereum ETF was going to go live, that's obviously clearly not going to happen. But anyway, if we're out by a week or so, I won't really care. Remember my final words. Do not trust anybody on the internet to tell you what coins to buy. Ask their opinions, go and listen to their opinions and make your own decisions. Do not believe me, Crypto Lifer, BitBoy Crypto, Crypto Wendio, all of those other people. Don't believe them. Do your own research, make your own decisions. Until tomorrow, have a great Wednesday, and I'll see you in the morning.